time to another speaker, increase that speaker's allotted time. Comments under the, yeah, that number 3 is a violation of statute. So citizens will be expected to be civil in their language and presentation and not engage in slander, name calling, and refrain from the use of profanity. Audience as well as speaker will maintain order and decorum in their conduct throughout the public speaking period. When you come up, just state your name. Andy Maria.
Thank you, Mayor. Pam Maria, 1108 Hunters Trail Drive, Indian Trail. You know, getting elected as a council member or mayor brings a special status. It also comes with a special obligation to look beyond yourself and cultivate the qualities in collaboration, teamwork, and civility. Elected officials set the tone for the civic life of their community. When elected officials demonstrate how to differ with one another respectfully, find principled compromises, and focus on the common good, community members often will too. When elected officials get mired in blame, recrimination, or division, civic progress can grind to a halt, and the city's sense of common purpose can fracture. To govern well, elected leaders must help each other and the public stay focused on the future and on the common good. That can be an uphill struggle when the passions of the moment and lead to the demands for instant solutions, or when there is a deep division over a single issue that threatens to push longer-term problems aside. There will always be occasions when elected officials differ among themselves, but the mark of leadership is the ability to handle those differences in ways that move the agenda forward, build trust, and create a civic culture of mutual respect and makes progress possible. This, when I was researching to be in the political arena, I found this, and this is Association of Cities. This is a wonderful playbook. It's so you want to be an elected official, practical information. I thought it was really good to read it, to remind all of us, not only as citizens, but as leaders. And one other thing I do want to address. Last meeting that you all had here, Mr. Cohen, you made a comment that all the people that were here you had never seen before, and you even questioned if they were part of the Indian Trail community. Well, I can tell you the majority of them were, and some of them are here tonight. There's a lot of new faces that you're going to see, because even though they don't come to the council meetings for 12 years straight, like Shirley did, they are here. They are your constituents also, and you need to recognize that they're here. They're young, they have young families, they drive very far and very long, and coming here may be difficult, but you've got grandkids, and they are paying attention. So please know that even though you don't recognize them, they are there. Thank you.
Kevin. Kathy. Communicate, sorry. You're recording.
Yes.
Right. Okay, okay, before we go on in public comments, it's brought to my attention that there were a couple individuals that would like to speak. I would need council's approval since the open period for speaking was done. Is council okay if I add these gentlemen or ladies who are fine? And if nobody opposed to it? Okay. And then, sir? Well, you're not coming up yet, I just need your name. When I point to you, you'll come up to the stage. How many are you?
3.
There's 3 of you? Okay.
Rich.
Raise your hands. Okay.
Oh, 4.
Okay.
Right here.
There'll be 4.
Oh,
One in the back.
All right.
one in the back there.
There's a 5th back here.
There's a 5th back
We
there.
do this, we open up a can of worms.
Yeah.
That's okay, that's fine, it's your right.
We're all here about the same.
Yeah, you all hear about the same issue? So then I would kindly ask you to pick one speaker and all stand up there together. Okay? When it's your turn. Okay? Stand up there, you all stand up there, one speaker. And when, not that yet. Okay. Mark Pergolisi. Did I get that correct?
Perfectly.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Mark Pergolesi, and I'm the local district manager for Waste Connections. And I just wanted to say tonight that a big thank you to Rox and his staff, Attorney Walter and your staff. I've been living and breathing this rigorous process since sometime in mid-March. And that might even be an understatement, how rigorous it was. To the town council, I'd like to thank you for the consideration and the opportunity. And I think at the end of the day, what happened here tonight, the residents of Indian Trail won. So thank you.
Thank you. Tim Fedor?
Thank you. My name is Tim Fedor. I'm the Division Vice President for Waste Connections. I'm responsible for work in South Carolina. It's a pleasure working with Mark and Patrick, my division controller, is basically my business partner in those states. And so I just simply want to thank you for consideration, allowing us the opportunity to participate in the process. I thought it was a little grueling, but at the end of the day, ultimately the residents won with a lower rate. And to address your concern, we don't say no. We look forward to being.
Did you get that recorded?
But we look forward to being participants in your community. It's very important to us, and if you don't enjoy our service, I would look at that as a complete failure on my part personally. So we'll answer the phone, we'll respond to you, and we'll participate here locally. So thank you very much.
Thank you. I saw Mr. Tenhoff leave, but I would give one quick shout out to Mr. Bob Tenhoff if he's here and wants to speak. Lamar Wingo?
Hey, Lamar Wingo, my wife and I from the Indian Trail Hardware. You guys are tired of seeing me come up here. Believe me, 3 minutes is not enough for what I need to say tonight, so I'm gonna hit bullet points. I commend the council tonight for passing a resolution based on fundamental fairness. Parties to a conflict have the right to be heard, both sides. Family Fun Day several years ago, I heard about the road being closed after it was a done deal. I came and voiced my displeasure. The council voted not to close the road again. They had another Family Fun Day. It didn't go as well as people expected, I guess. So again, I learned through the internet that they're closing the road again this year for Family Fun Day. I came and spoke in February and based my opposition at that time. I thought it was a productive meeting. I also talked about the St. Patrick's Day parade, which was ultimately discontinued. Well, to my surprise, a couple of weeks ago, the lady from the Parks and Recreation Department comes in my store and hands a letter to my wife stating that the road is closing again and we're going forward. I since learned that it was placed on the consent agenda prior to me being here in February to close the road. Now, I don't know where anybody didn't want to tell me that night that you'd already voted to close the road, or you didn't know. It seems to be, it has to be one or the other. I would ask in the process of fundamental fairness that it be voted on Monday night. I'll at least know who my friends are. And you don't have to agree with me, but I'm just telling you. And a few bullet points. Would you close the road where people could get to the businesses at Sun Valley? No. Would you close the road where people couldn't shop at Food Line on the South? No. Would you close the road to Carolina Courts? Probably not. But you're going to close a road where people can't get to Indian Trail Road. They can't get to Johnny K's. This is what's so surprising to me is I talked to 2 more business owners just last week that had no idea that the road's going to be closed. Even if you look at the letter that was brought to me, it says information about road closures later on. You know, that fundamental fairness. We need to be given an opportunity before the vote, not after. And these business owners that also own it, while they're not here, you know what they keep telling me? They gonna do what they wanna do anyway. It doesn't matter. But I still believe, if somebody will hear, that you'll do the right thing and don't play.
So, please keep that down. Hartsburg? You can speak from his chair, just bring him the, thank you. Gordon.
Thank you, Mayor, council members. You know, we talked about the smell test, and I heard that loud and clear. Well, last year, I remember a whole group of people that were right here in this room, and one of the ladies showed pictures of the smell test in their backyard. And that was the fish that were dead because of the flooding that was going on. I heard that this Saturday, that the project for Ashcroft subdivision and the drainage and the problems we're having with the flooding is not going to be completed or done. And it's being picked up by Trailwood. So they're across the creek from us. I think we might have a war going on. But the thing that bothers me most is when I sit here and watch the town council vote on a project to make people happy and then turn around and cancel it or not complete it or not get it done all the way through. And what's happening is it didn't happen until Saturday when it started to rain again. And guess what? Crooked Creek overflowed its banks this last weekend and backflooded our retention pond, which caused any water coming from anywhere to back up. And once again, we have flooding going on. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm asking you to take control of this situation. Our subdivision is the bearer of all of the water that comes from everywhere down Crooked Creek. And the reason it's flooding is because this town council and this town has allowed construction to go on that has increased the water flow into Crooked Creek to make it a raging river whenever it rains. Thank you.
On that note, Jim, Patrick, would you get with residents from each of the subdivisions that was brought up on Saturday and get feedback to them on the projects that's starting shortly and that's going to be done?
Absolutely, so.
And I'd like to be included in on that meeting to see where we're at. Yeah, the council, you know, if you can put together a meeting for the council and representatives based on just the projects with the flooding.
We'll be more than happy.
So everybody's brought up to speed. Okay, thank you. Now, group. Whose name should go on here?
You can put my name now, my name is Stuart, S-T-U-A-R-T, last name is P-U-R-R.
Yes, sir. Okay.
All right, my name is Stuart, I am speaking yesterday on behalf of some of the residents of Bridleside Drive, and I've come to ask for some more information about the traffic calming measures which are installed on some of the streets in subdivisions near us. We've long asked for traffic calming measures for our street. Our street is the only one within 2 or 3 streets that has a public play area for children of all the streets surrounding us, and it's on a blind corner, and so a lot of the traffic on our street with speeds comes around very fast indeed, and we feel it's quite dangerous. A street near to us received traffic calming measures, and when we asked, our street also did, we received some information here from Todd Hunsinger, the engineering project manager, letting us know that those traffic calming measures could not be installed because the 85th percentile traffic was traveling at 32 miles an hour rather than 33. And one of the other warrants the street had to meet was that its average daily traffic be over 500 vehicles a day. The traffic study that took place in 2016, middle of 2016, found that we had over 1,250 cars per day, so 250% of the required amount. So our concern is that streets that receive traffic calming measures may have done so with much smaller quantities of traffic than actually take place on our street. Simply, even though they had 500 cars per day, those were traveling 33 miles an hour at the 80th percentile rather than 32. So we're pretty concerned that a similar amount of traffic, even a larger amount of faster traffic, could be traveling down our street, which we think has specifically unique play areas for our children that require extra consideration with regard to placing traffic calming measures to keep the people on our street safe.
On that note, Patrick, would you get his number and meet with these people, and also Captain Coble, and see if there's anything else we can get done and bring it back to council?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
does Patrick or do we have a list of traffic calming that will be coming up in the next year, 2 years, 3 years? That
Yeah, we
put
do.
a list out there on the
We can go over
website?
that with them and see if they're on that, bring it back, okay? Is that satisfactory?
Not
Oh,
really.
we may go.
I'm sorry.
He still needs to meet with you. You can't vote on this tonight. Either you wait, it gets put on an agenda 6
Okay,
months
well,
down the road, or you get
6
with
months down
the,
the road.
maybe. Or you begin the process with the engineer,
Okay,
and he gets back to us ASAP on the need with the sheriff's office.
okay, that's fine.
We, not being rude, we can't just say, oh, let's go put a traffic calming device on
Yeah,
the
I
street.
hear you, but,
That's the man you need to speak to.
but we follow protocol is the point.
Yeah,
so-
that is the man you
Speed
need to
bumps.
speak to.
Okay, speed bumps.
Yes, okay?
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, just need to, during public comment, sure, we just direct them to staff and let them. All right. Mr. Bowden, you still want to speak?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Bowden, you clear up. Patrick, you want to?
Hey, David Combs, 1019 Philly Drive, Indian Trail. I just wanted to make a brief comment. That was a very elegant speech. I agree with everything that you said, Mr. Murphy. It was very nice. First of all, I just want to make the statement what was said in the meeting last week. It was not what you presented or what you said here. Basically, what was said in the meeting last week is I was sitting in the chair up there and noticed that this room was quite full, and a lot of people that I didn't recognize. And there were some people that actually I recognized that didn't live here in the community. But the statement that I made was, and this is a quote, "There's a lot of people in this room I've never seen before," which is completely true. I'm not sure if you're from Indian Trail or not, period. That's all it says. Now, how you can misconstrue that into disrespecting somebody or calling them out as not being a resident, kind of goes to show how something very small that was said, and it was a very truthful statement. I didn't recognize a lot of people in my room. There were people that weren't here. So if I hurt anybody's feelings by saying that, I'll apologize to them. I've worked very hard in my 5 years of being on council of trying to do the right thing. I've always said, I'm not the smartest guy up here. I'm the dumbest guy up here. So therefore, I have to try to do the right thing because I don't know any better. You know, if I tell lies, I don't think I could ever think about what I told. So I'm going to try to tell the truth. So if I offended anybody, I'm sorry. But that was what the statement that was made. And by no means did I question anybody's residency or whether or not they were from Indian Trail or not. And, you know, if you would pass that on to me, I would appreciate it.
Well, you just did.
Okay, at this time, we're going to close the public comments. And that brings us to law enforcement update. Captain Cole.
Directing traffic.
The, couple of things I'm gonna do real quick about it. Our, county website has been revised, so if anybody goes on and looks for on the sheriff's office website, there's a lot of information on there where you can go and look at, crime reports that's taking place in your neighborhood. You can sign up to get alerts for things going on in your neighborhoods and stuff. The county outsourced their web design to a third-party company, changed everything on us, and we're not happy about it, but we're trying to learn it. So if you're lost on there, we are too. We've had people calling us today saying, how do I get this? How do I get that? We don't know either. We're trying to navigate through it, but I encourage you, if you haven't been on there in a little while, go back on to our website so that you can get familiar with the navigation on there as well. If you had previously signed up to get email alerts on crime reports or whatnot, those links are still active, so your previous sign up will still work up under this new website design. So just wanted to throw that out there, and we're working through getting it to be a little bit cleaned up and a little bit easier to get everything. Also in the back here, any of you's got pets, I've left a upcoming rabies clinic schedule going on, so it's $10 cash for rabies vaccinations, and so there are going to be a couple around Indian Trail on Saturday, May the 6th, and also on the 20th. They'll be at Sardis Elementary on the 6th and at Indian Trail Elementary on the 20th. So in case anybody wants to pick one up, business or anything else out here, get the word out for us. This past weekend, had a little bit of a rise or a spike over in Brookstone Village in car break-ins. I think we wound up with 12 or 13 over the course of Saturday night, early Sunday AM. And during that time, some of you've heard me sit up here and say it, we had a handgun taken from a vehicle. So I'm a big advocate. I think you might know me to exercise your right and protect yourself, but bring it inside and protect yourself too when you're sleeping. If you leave it out in the car, then you're kind of giving them a one heads up on it. So it's really difficult for the federal government to try to regulate who has a firearm and who doesn't, but it certainly makes it obviously easier for a criminal to get it if you leave it laid on the seat in your car and go inside with your car parked outside. So just ask that you keep in mind, take in your wallets, your purses, things like that, handguns, rifles, all that good stuff, and also your garage door opener, because if somebody breaks your window and pushes that button, then they can walk right inside your house. This Sunday, April the 16th at 1:50 in the morning, if any of you were out and about, you may have noticed that we had a pursuit that went through town. Two deputies who were not Indian Trail deputies, but they were up there patrolling, working out on 74. Went to pull over two motorcycles, which ran from them. They were speeding. Ended up chasing one, and Morgan Tyson, one of our deputies, big tall guy, looks like he needs to be playing basketball for Carolina or something. Morgan was able to apprehend one of the drivers up in Charlotte and got him in custody. He had a handgun on him that had the serial number filed off of it, and was charged with a whole slew of charges. So he's in custody, 26-year-old male out of Charlotte. The other motorcycle went on and got away. A couple of new initiatives that we've got going on around here. You guys have heard me on council talk about doing patrol districts here in town. We've implemented that. That's up and going, which means that half of our crew is assigned to the north side and half are assigned to the south side. So somebody that lives over on the north side of town are going to see the same batch or the same group of officers, hopefully in the long run. I'll reiterate again, I'm hoping to create better relationships in the community by that, because you're seeing the same few core group of guys. I'm hoping to increase their awareness of the problem areas in your communities. Eventually, I'm hoping to increase response times with that, but I'm going to throw out a caveat that you can't drive, fly, walk, or boat in this past rain that we've had across town right now due to congestion. Now, a lot of it's road congestion that's going on, so be prepared for potential increases in our response times, but we're going to weather through that because I think it's worth it to get down to the fact that we can provide a better service in the long run. The other thing that was mentioned on Saturday, Adam touched on a little bit, some of the council that was here, Crooker Creek Park, if you go there, you may notice there's some signage there telling you that it's patrolled by the sheriff's office and also monitored by video. We've installed a camera system out there in Crooker Creek Park with the upcoming splash pad that's going to be out there. We thought it was important to let parents know that we were having something that was going to be out there and monitoring and recording, so that if an incident happened, that we wanted to preempt that by going in and having the network out there and in place. Adam's been working a lot with our IT people on getting that online, and we're also planning on moving over and doing it at your other park as well. So there'll be some availability for town staff during the course of their workday to be able to go on and check on things out there at the park from their office or remotely, to be able to look at that. But then as well for us, if there's an incident or a problem, then certainly we want people to tell us about it, we want to be able to go back and look on the cameras. Now, with that being said, I was in the park the other day, and I call it paperwork, but it's actually computer work sitting in my truck. And I drive an unmarked vehicle out of our fleet, and so I'm out there in the afternoon area, and I park way away from where everybody else is at. But I'm monitoring, looking at what's going on while I'm making a few phone calls and doing some paperwork on my computer. And as I get ready to get done, I hear them dispatch a call out to Crooked Creek Park, and I said, well, I'm here now, tell me what you got going on, I'm here. Well, there's a suspicious man out there in a white Tahoe. So apparently the signs are working. We asked people to report any suspicious activity. So the signs
Did you get a statement?
Anybody that says people don't read signs and pay attention, I've got evidence. So a couple of things going on with training. Deputy Rutledge just attended the North Carolina Precision Driving School the week of April 10th for a week-long driving course up in Raleigh. Eric Dees spent that same week at CMPD in their dual sport motorcycle school. So we've got a couple of guys that are getting checked off and certified to use the bikes around town. Sandy Shaw was registered for an upcoming class for CEPTED, which is Crime Prevention Through Environmental Design. Now I say that in that if you remember back to the PERF study that was done, that was one of the things that they really encouraged between the town and the us to start applying CEPTED principles. And so hopefully we get Sandy trained up in that. We've been looking for a year and a half now, so I finally just bit the bullet and sending her out of state to get that done. My goal would be to get her through a couple of those classes and get her to where she can actually be an instructor. It's been several years since we've offered or had the availability for some of the planning staff to go to a CEPTED training. But what that does is it actually increases a little bit of awareness whenever you're doing site plan reviews, where you can potentially see problems if a developer comes in wanting to put a pocket park over in a certain area, then they can quickly identify that, hey, there's too much trees or too much shrubbery around there. You're going to have a problem. You're going to have a nuisance area with young teenagers and stuff out there at nighttime. Or there's not enough lighting here and things like that. So we're sending Sandy to that, and if we can't continue to find it locally, then I'll get her trained up where hopefully she'll be able to do some instruction locally for us. Also working on the request that was made for town employees for active threat training and also CPR and first aid. Been working with Wendy over at Henry Bridge Fire Department. I think we've got that lined up, and been talking with Alicia some today on email, so we'll be moving forward with that. Thank you.
Thank you.